welcome to the video this week. Helix dropped 3.15. Line 6 dropped the new update for Helix. And so we're looking at some of the cool new stuff in the update. Specifically, I'm going to focus a lot on the Ventoux amp. Anytime there's an amp model that's very cool, and I think it's really good. It's immediately up there in my top models in the Helix right now. I just think it's so versatile, and yeah, it works really well. It sounds really great to me, even with the stock cab that it comes with. I haven't even played around with mixing and matching it with any other cabs or any IRs right now, because I'm really happy with the way it sounds, even with just this stock cab. So that's always awesome. Let me just kind of show you what I've got right now. Here's my PRS CE24, so humbuckers for now. Maybe we'll switch over later to some single coils, but this is the clean sound that I've got. So kind of clean. I don't ever really use like clean. So that's kind of like a clean sound for me. But if I, that was the middle position. If I back it off a little bit, it gets. I've got some split positions here. We can check that out. So yeah, that sounds great. So one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this amp specifically, it's new obviously, but also the controls are a little bit weird and interesting. And if you didn't read the release notes, you might be very confused. So basically, you've got drive. Drive does basically what you would expect. That's the preamp drive. So turn it up, you get more distortion. This second parameter here, high pass filter. This is going to kind of change the character of the sound. So if I just like play some samples here, and I'll be on the bridge pickup here, so let's check it out. If I bring this back, it's going to be a little bit warmer, and a little bit, on gainier sounds it'll be a little bit looser. We'll look at that in a second. So if I bring this all the way up, let's listen to it all the way up. It's like super thin. Since we're clean right now, it's like super thin, tighter. And then if I roll it all the way down, you can hear the big difference. So I'll play here and then I'll roll it all the way down. Huge difference. So like really a lot rounder, warmer, looser. You can almost hear like more drive there. We're kind of on the edge, so we're maybe like got too much bass going in, too much in terms of a clean sound. But if we put that back, maybe somewhere in the middle, I think it comes in by default at like right at 5. So that's kind of what that does. If we can demonstrate kind of if I turn up the drive, you'll hear the difference there. And I'll just do some like chugging here. So let's turn it all the way up. That's in the middle. Tighten it up all the way. I'm not a metalhead, so that's all you get. And then all the way off. It's like super boomy and a little fuzzier now, looser. All of these words are not objective, but hopefully you get you could hear the difference there. So that's the high pass filter. Lower, warmer, looser, higher, tighter, yeah, and thinner. If you're kind of on a clean sound, you'll hear it as like thinness. So anyways, let's bring this back down somewhere where it was. Now the mid control. This is kind of like your main preamp tone shaping, and think of it like this: scooped, not scooped, flat, scooped, flat, scooped, flat. Maybe even a little bit of a push up here. I don't know. So we can hear that if we get maybe back to a clean sound. Warm it up a little bit. I don't even remember where it was. Back down to full scoop. So to taste on whatever you're trying to do there, right? Just think all the way down, mid scoop, all the way up, flat, maybe a little bit of a bump. And then you'll notice that's really the only preamp tone control. There's no bass, middle, treble, there's no EQ controls. Those are kind of your EQ controls that you have there. Replacing those are the presence and the depth, though. This is where you can kind of control the amount of top end and bottom end sort of overall. These controls are coming in the the power amp, not the preamp, so they're a little bit different, but they kind of have the same effect. So if I if I have a clean tone on my neck humbucker, I want to brighten that up a little bit. I can pull the presence up, and this is extreme. We're doing extreme so we can hear what's going on. Even more. All the way up. So you can hear how that brightens it up. If we bring it back, you can hear the difference again. Excuse my guitar, I need to rewire it. All right, presence is kind of like your treble control, and then the depth is kind of like your bass control. So yeah, we can hear that again pretty simply. Hopefully you could hear that. That was pretty clearly more boomy on the low end. Yeah, so that's the Ventoux. I think it's pretty cool. This is kind of like a clean sound that I've dialed in. And then obviously you heard before when we were kind of thumping, it can definitely go from clean to crunch to like even a lead kind of sound. And I've got a delay dialed in, which we'll talk about in a second. To go from the clean to the cool lead sound and have that much control over not just the tone but the character of it, right? That's the cool thing about the mid and high pass filter controls is, so I don't have good objective words to describe this, but it feels like two totally different amps, right? It feels like I've got a Fendery clean and then I can dial in like a super crunchy, something more modern for a lead sound, which is very cool. That's why I think it's one of the more versatile amps in the Helix. So anyways, that's the Ventoux. I think it's really cool. Check it out. Let me know in the comments if you check it out and you like it or you don't like it. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool though. This is one of the there's new delays and new reverbs as well in the update. So this is one of the, let me get back to my clean sound. And actually, let's just go to the ambient setting here. Because I did a little ambient thing on the intro, and this is that sound. Oh, I have an expression pedal over here. So this is that ambient sound you heard in the beginning. So I've got a tremolo in there. That's not new. This is the Heliosphere, and this is a new delay. It's a delay / reverb, really. Like I can't even turn this verb off, and you can hear. I'll turn this this mod off as well, and you can hear what's going on. So there's a reverb on the feedback loop of the delay. So the delays, the repeats, are reverberated. So that's kind of cool. And this is dialed in pretty crazy because I was going for some more of an ambient thing. You know, the feedback is cranked up pretty high, but I actually didn't touch much of the reverb stuff. You could get interesting with the headroom. The scale parameter, if it's stereo, the scale parameter lets you control the timing difference between the left and the right. So here I've got the note sync set to a quarter. That's the time of the first delay, which I think goes to the left channel, and then the scale will control the relative difference of that in the right channel. So if this is a quarter note in the left, 50% means 50% of a quarter note, which is an eighth note, right? So I think you can hear that. Maybe you can't hear that with all the wash, but maybe if I turn down the reverb mix, you can hear it better. So you got a quarter note and an eighth note in there. Cool. We'll put that back up to 50%. So yeah, Heliosphere, really cool for super quick, easy, ambient kind of like pad stuff. That's just volume knob straight into the Heliosphere. So I probably didn't even need to add one of these reverbs, but this is the new shimmer. There's a shimmer. I should have led with the shimmer. I'm sure that's like everyone's favorite thing. Depending on whether or not it's still cool. Yeah, so there's actually two of these. And in the release notes, it talks about we're going to make it one, but then we're going to make it two different things, but then we just made it one, and then you can switch between them via snapshots or whatever. So that's really nice. I'm glad they made that choice. I went for the sheen here with this sort of sound. And you have two pitches you can control. So this is, I mean, mostly the default settings. I just cranked back the intensity here quite a bit because I wanted it to be a little more subtle. But here's what it sounds like. It's a little subtle because I cranked back the intensity. If I bring the intensity back up, you'll hear the pitch. Yeah, so that's cool. You have like a real shimmer reverb built in if you were wanting that. I've been using kind of just like a big, I think the Ganymede reverb. I hope I said that right. And I just have a pitch block ahead of the chain, and that kind of gives me that sort of like pog into a big reverb thing, which is kind of like a shimmer, not exactly the same. Don't shoot me. But anyways, shimmer reverb. It's very cool. If you know what shimmer is, you know what this is. I like to crank the diffusion all the way up. And then if it's another trick with these shimmer reverbs or anything really where you're pitching up octaves, it can get really ice picky and crazy. So pay attention to the high cut control, right? So like if I've got if I crank this up the high cut, so it's completely off. You can hear that's maybe a little too bright. Maybe it's fine. That actually sounds perfectly fine right here in my room. I don't know what it sounds like in your ears, but yeah, sometimes if it gets too ice picky, I will go for that high cut and pull it back. Or the intensity, like I said, you can just deaden the whole effect of the pitching. So anyways, yeah, 3 cool things in the new Helix update: the Ventoux amp, this Heliosphere delay. There's other delays, and we'll talk about some more stuff in a future video, I think. And then, yeah, the shimmer reverb. You'll also notice there's 3 more dynamic reverbs. Play with those. Let me know what you think about them in the comments. And yeah, thanks for watching. And remember, if it sounds good, it is good.